try Instagram. Let's see what happens with Instagram. Yes, hello. Everybody loves Raymond, ELR 360 Live. Tom Caltabiano here going. Let's see, does that show that we're live? We're in there. Oh no, I have to go back here. Okay. All right, let's go live. There we go. That should be active. Ah, yes. Welcome, everybody. Loves Raymond 360 Live. Looking all around my studio. I missed you guys last week, but we are live here to answer all your questions. Tom Caltabiano here, writer on Everybody Loves Raymond, and welcome. Welcome, fans of Everybody Loves Raymond. Yes, I'm looking at all our comments. Hi. Hello, Mona. Yes, happy Passover to those who celebrate. And to those who don't, happy Passover as well. Hello, hi. Hi, Kathleen. Hello, Susan. Stompanato. Susan, if I'd known you then, you would have been a perfect name to put into an episode, because for those of you that missed it, I have said in the past many times that Phil Rosenthal, who was the showrunner of the show, he'd be in the writer's room and he would go, and this sounds crazy because you want your name to be on a hit show, but he would go, I need a name here. Who's got a name? Give me a name. Throw out a name, and then do that. And and then that name is now in a Never Loves Raymond script forever. So in one of my scripts, I had a friend, Chuck Pecorella, is the name that it wound up in the show. My friend's name is Frank Pecorella, but I could not use him. Could not use Frank, because then it would be weird that he had the same last name. So I had to change it to Chuck. And so that was in the Jealous Robert episode that Raymond and I wrote. Okay, let me read. Let me put this back up here. You see my eye line. Okay, so there's my eye line changing. Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, Toronto. You couldn't make it last week either. Okay, Karen, that's not why I canceled, because I didn't cancel because you couldn't make it. But if you want to put it in your diary that way, that Tom was overwrought with sadness and could not go on, then I will do that. Okay, yes. So a couple of subjects to talk about. I posted a video of, let me see, do I have? Yes. Okay, so what I'm doing, because let's do what is the word? Systematically, so that we're not all over the map. We are trying to pull off the Everett Raymond reunion show. So I see a lot of comments online about, no, you can't do it. Frank and Maria are gone. How could you possibly do it? So I think they are confused between a reunion show and a remake of the show. So this is basically a much better, bigger version of what I do every single Sunday for the past 5 years. Hard to believe that COVID started 5 years ago. So this will be, if it happens, and I so appreciate people writing in suggestions like, you should do a clip show, you should do this show, you should do I have no say in what goes on the air. Phil Rosenthal has no say, and Ray Romano has no say. It's really up to the network. So you would not believe, and when hopefully it happens, knock on wood, if this happens, I will share at some point the amount of hurdles just to get this to happen. This being a reunion show of Everybody Loves Raymond, a clip show where Patty and Raymond and Philip and Brad Garrett, etc., and hopefully Alex Meneses are sitting around reminiscing about the show, and then also, of course, saying how much they love Peter and Doris and sharing their own Peter and Doris stories. So that's what we're trying to do. And because of that, we are also doing something in the Paley Center in New York City, and they're kind of tied together in that. Here, I'm going to take there we go, a little Nemo sip. That was a big Nemo sip. Oh, Too much vodka in the morning is not good. Okay, the Paley Center, for those who know, used to be called the Museum of Radio and Television, or Television Radio, one of those, and it's named after William Paley, and they changed it to like the Paley Center for Media and all this stuff. So every time, it's unfortunate. It's accurate, but it's unfortunate because every time I say it, I say, we, not to people in the industry, but people outside the industry, I say, we're doing something at the Paley Center. And they go, oh, what's that? And I go, it used to be the Museum of Radio and Television. Oh, that sounds cool. Yes. Simultaneously, to put stuff in there, we are also resourcing stuff that can go into the TV special if it happens. When I say if it happens, at any point, since the power that we, and not even me, but Raymond and Phil have is zero, and that's why I love bringing this to you every week, because nobody is saying, hey, Tom, nobody wants to hear about Everest Raymond. Please don't even, you're wasting everybody's time. Please don't do that. Okay. So that allows, the explosion on the internet allows me to reach out to you guys every single week, which has been awesome. But Phil and Ray, if they're like, why don't we do this show and this show and this show, the people in power can say no or yes. And it's really that simple. So if it all works out, I have found, and I posted it, that's how I started this reference, Ray's mother and father on the set. And I found it on one of the tapes that looks like this. Let's see how our focusing is. Okay, do you see what that says? That says, okay, let me see if I can grab that sweet spot. That says taping Raybert. Okay, so that is the taping of Raybert. You know how cool that is? For me, years later, we all know the Raybert episode where Ray and Robert switch identities. One of the funniest scenes is when the girl comes to the house. So when I pop this in, let me see what it is. 60-minute video, okay? This is a 60-minute mini DV, it's called. Oh, look at these reflections. Just killing. I know. Patience, everybody, patience. Okay, so there we go. There is a 60-minute mini DV. It's digital, even though it's tape, it's digital. So to digitize that is real time, meaning you have to put it in a machine and you just hit play. Whereas if you take a bunch of photos and you copy it onto your hard drive, it might take 4 minutes or 3 minutes. It's not real time. So with these, not only do I have to figure out how to get it in, which I have figured out, but there's you ready? This is 1 hour. So I have at least 200 tapes of like this, 200. And the posts I've been doing are 18 seconds, 20 seconds long. So you can imagine 200 hours. What would that be? Let me think now. Hold on. Alexa, what is 200 hours divided by 18 seconds?
200 hours divided by 18 seconds is 40,000.
Okay. So 40,000 clips. I could potentially post 40,000 clips. Okay, let's see. Alexa, what is 40,000 divided by 365? I hope I'm not triggering everybody's Alexa at home. Alexa, what is 40,000 divided by 365?
40,000 divided by 365 is approximately 109.
Okay, so here you go, folks. Numbers are boring, but if I put up one clip like I did of Ray's mother or Norm Macdonald in the audience, etc., I can put up one clip every day for the next, ready, drum roll, 109 years. So every single day for 109 years. Now, I know some of you are in your late 20s. So even then, you're like going, well, Tom, I don't know can you do it sooner? And so there you go. It's a treasure trove. And those things that I'm posting are getting 300,000 views. And so for everybody who has just joined and don't know who I am, the 5,000 new followers we have in the last month, this is Tom Caldabiano, writer on Everest Raymond. So there you go. That is a lot of information. Okay, let's go back and look at some questions. But that, folks, that is why you're seeing these clips now. But to take this to a professional place, I keep holding this up. To take this to a professional place, it's $30 per tape. So if you bring in a lot, it's a little bit less, but it's not chump change, everybody. So here we go. That's why I found that perfect clip of Ray's parents visiting, Ray's mother, who's very seldom seen, but you do see one. Okay, let's go to questions right away. Okay, put this down here. Yes. Okay, here we go. Yes. Okay. The me going is let me see this. Hi, Kathleen. Tom, I had the hardest time finding the episode where Ray comes home and Marie is giving Ray a massage. Yes, it's not a teaser. I thought it was a teaser. It's in the middle of an episode, and we've discussed it before, and I don't remember which episode it is, but somebody on our thing will write right away what that episode is. And I want to say, it feels like an episode, it feels like a season 4 or 5, something like that, a hysterical moment. And as soon as we do, as soon as we name it, people should run and watch it. Yes, that, by the way, that is Comedy Gold. I'm not going to give it away in case somebody has not. Hi, Sandra Owens Piles. So happy I found you. Here, watch this. See that? That's technology right there. So happy I found you. Newbie, hold on. I shouldn't be. Here's our Nemo's Pizza official Nemo's Pizza mug. Everything, you can buy everything on our shop. Where is the, let's see, the fork and spoon magnet? We just sent out a big shipment of forks and spoon magnets for those of you who have ordered, etc. So Sandra, is it Sandra or Sandra? I don't want you to get mad at me because people can get very uptight about their names. I'm very happy that you are on board. So, Sandra, if you're a big fan of the show, or Sandra, this is all the trivia, and I so wish somebody was still around from I Love Lucy so you could have this discussion every week and ask questions, etc. So welcome aboard. Thank you. And hello, Paul from Norfolk, Nebraska. I think I got stuck once in North Platte, Nebraska. Is that very close? Yes, Annabelle, Alpharetta, Georgia, originally from Toronto. Tony Trevison. Okay, that's a good name. That's a cool name. Hi, Tony. You're in Georgia now, home of the Masters. We will talk about that. Let's see. Yeah, everything has to be determined. Absolutely, Paul. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. The drinker's motto. Yes. Kathleen, that's a very funny line. Here, Ray, smell this at Nemo's. Yes. Okay, no charge. Nemo's, by the way, very funny little character. Hi, Henry. Oh, boy. Let me see. Howdy, all. Can we make a GoFundMe to buy the rights to the show and then do the reunion we want? To find the Glory and Hoggett. Yes, all the Glory and Hoggett. Very funny. Referencing the show. There was talk about, here's the thing about doing a reunion show or any show. If you guys watch, so Phil Rosenthal is on tour. I don't know where he is now. I could look it up. I could look up where he is in the world now. He's going all over the map. Let me use my computerized device. Let's look up Phil Rosenthal. Phil Rosenthal. Now, see that? I spelled it with 2. There he is. Let's see where Phil is. What is today? The 13th? Okay, so Phil did Glasgow, I don't know how you say it, on the 12th. And on the 17th, he'll be in Belfast, and then Northern Ireland. And on the 19th, he'll be in Dublin. So, Phil is on a show on Netflix. And Netflix is very, very persnickety about continuing episodes of a series, any series. And so it's always a negotiation to get it going. And so there's a temptation to, what if you did the show yourself on YouTube? Because 20 years ago, YouTube really wasn't a place where you put a real show. But now, because of technology, you're watching YouTube, and maybe some of you are out there watching me on a big screen TV, God forbid. But if we did our own reunion show, let's just say we paid for it all ourselves, somebody has to Not sure why that was air quotes, but somebody has to pay that bill. And I will bet you, okay, you ready? You're sitting down, everybody, to make that reunion show. And Henry, I know a little tongue in cheek, but I get the spirit of your question. You're probably talking $2 to $3 to $4 million. Somebody has to risk putting that money up, making the show, has no home for it. No home for it means, do we put it on YouTube? And then on YouTube, how many people watch it? And do we make back our $3 to $4, $5, $7 million? So that's it's a precarious thing. So, and just like, and I've said this example before, okay, it's not the same, but it's similar. Gilligan's Island was a 3 years or 4 years it ran, and then they just canceled it. The network executives at CBS hated Gilligan's Island. They said it before they put it on the air. They said it after it went off the air. It was just lowbrow, and they didn't believe in it, and they pulled it. And there's executives on camera talking about it. The guy who created that show, Sherwood Schwartz, he tried to convince them, let's do a reunion show. Let's do a what happened to them now. And the network was like, how about we don't? And I think he convinced them to do it 2 or 3 times. And I think it was always the top rated show either of the night or the entire week. So the network was kind of reluctantly like, okay. Now, for Everest Raymond, it's been 25 years. It's been 20 years since we went off the air. And so there's such a thirst for the reunion. So you would think people would be going, let's do it. But everything takes a long time in Hollywood, and you never know. You guys watching me love Everybody's Raymond. The people in power at CBS don't necessarily have the same nostalgic feel, or from a pure business, if they love the show and they go, you know what, we've done the analytics, the demographic is too old, we don't care about anybody who's over 40, they are dead to us, so we're not going to do that special. So you never know how many things are afloat and how many things prevent or cause any project in Hollywood to be made. Okay. Let me see. Would they share stories of Sawyer? Sure. Everything is possible. Absolutely. What happened to Nemo? So in the script, he go away, okay? And I think I've told this story. I'll tell it again. I was in Sicily. Yes, that's right. Sicily at the family of Ray's real life wife, Anna, from Bissaquino. So I was in Bissaquino, Italy, and there was a family there from Long Island who were Italian. And I was visiting there with my friend. And the woman from New York was very upset about the he go away line and the insinuation that there was a mafia in any way. And she got very angry at me, and she gave me a piece of her mind about that. And first of all, I didn't write that episode, and I am also Italian. But she was so offended, and I can't believe you would play into stereotypes and blah, blah, all this stuff. I was like, okay, now keep in mind, the town I'm in is one town south of a town called Corleone. Corleone, yes, that's right. If you've watched The Godfather or heard The Godfather, you might know that name. That was the script. What happened to the real, the actor, Joe Perry, who I saw recently, I was going to show, and maybe I did show, was in a Twilight Zone episode. He did not, his health was failing. And so he was replaced temporarily by another actor, which you guys will know more than me by looking it up. And then Phil loved David Preval, and David Preval was cast in the Italy episode. And then he said, oh, this is really, really funny. Maybe we have him in more episodes. Alex Meneses, Stefania was just comedy gold and super, super pretty, and the perfect combination of the annoying person that Robert, be careful what you wish for. So that's what happened to Nemo, the story and the real life story. Yes, the I go sprinkler now. So yes, Henry Wang, that's a good question. You just got to pull the tab for Deborah, for those of you who watched the 10th anniversary episode where Ray records over his wedding video, which happened in real life, to Aaron Shore, writer Aaron Shore. So this there is the tab. Okay. Come on. Oh, you so want to focus. Please focus. There you go. That is the tab. And so if you just, when Ray was saying to Deborah, which I didn't think was out of line, just, just do that. Just pull that tab and then you can't record over it. Okay. I should be doing that to all of these old tapes, which are filled with gold, 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 gold. Okay. Here we go. Back to questions. Oh, you know what I've neglected again? Sorry. I keep doing that. I've neglected Instagram, and I have no animosity towards Instagram at all. Also TikTok, by the way. If you, I don't know if I'm not live on TikTok. Patricia, hi Patricia, from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Where is that? Sounds delightful. Does anyone keep in touch with the kids of Raymond and Deborah? Thank you for doing these lives. Okay, so now, are you talking about the actors and actresses? I have I had Madeline Sweeten as a guest here, but not, I don't know. I think she did she just have a kid or she's about to have a kid? So I don't know how, the answer is yes. That's the answer. I'm going to say, yeah, I don't mean to be, I just don't know. So here, I'll frame it in a different way. There's 120 people that worked on the show. Some people I see like Raymond and Phil and Patty, less so Brad, I see them. So Ray and Phil I see all the time because we're friends and we live near each other. Some people on the show who I really, really liked and enjoy spending time with, I haven't seen in 20 years. And so it's a lot of, it's like anything else. I think the best way, if someone has kids and they're friends with parents at a school and then they go their separate ways, like, oh, I haven't talked to them in 15 years. So it's like anything else. You have 120 people and they, I just had, I just had a really good lunch with people that I'm friends with, and I have not seen them in a while. The confusion at the front door is hilarious. Hi, Tom. Great Falls, Montana, right? Am I getting that right? Yes. Okay. Montana. MT, the short initial MT. Ray looks like his dad. Yes. So let me see. I don't have my phone on me, but I might. By the way, go see Philip Rosenthal if you can. For those of you in Glasgow or, oh no, that already happened. Belfast, if you have a time machine, go back to that one. Dublin or Belfast coming up. Okay, so now let me go back here. Let me scroll all the way up on Instagram. Hello. So just for everybody, hello, New Haven, Connecticut, I assume. Great. There used to be a great comedy club there called was it called The Last Laugh? I think so. Hi, Nary 8_8218. That seems like a top secret name. I'm #1 fan of Ever's Raymond. I can watch it thousands of times and I love it. That is awesome to hear. Okay, so let me go now. Let's talk what we have. Oh, by the way, also, I don't want to disappoint. I have to put the ratings up, but here, let me go back to my live so I can see my feed. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's the focus. The canister with some treat in there that I don't know. Okay. Hi, Lynn. Who decides what reruns are played? ELR was on 2 stations for ages and both canceled at the same time. Is that a contract ended? Whose decision? We need more ELR. What can we do to get them back? Okay. This gets into business stuff, but generally there's a syndication cycle where, just put it briefly, a company pays to run the show. So if TV Land says we have, and I don't know the exact details, obviously, or maybe not obviously, if TV Land says we have bought it through 2027, okay, then it's going to air if they want to, and they've paid for it, so they probably will. That's going to air through 2027. Then when that contract's up and whoever owns the streaming rights, which I think is HBO, maybe, Sony bought the international version. They go, so now let's just use TV Land. TV Land goes back to Paramount, and Paramount, CBS, it's the same company, HBO, whatever. Hey, we want to renew. And HBO says, good, it'll be $1,000,000,000,000,000,000. And then TV Land goes, that's really too much. And HBO goes, well, that's the cost. Then you don't see the show anymore if they walk away. So it's really that simple. And, you know, the networks have to run a network. So if on TV Land, if they are keeping ratings and they're like, you know what, we have run the show so many times. Now, the fear is that people will get sick of it. The encouraging empirical evidence is that I Love Lucy, I think their premiere was in 1951. So, and that's still running. So there's a good chance that Raymond will be running. And one thing that I have said in the past, even though it's not the desirable demographic because Hollywood does not like old, Friends kind of, there's not as many people watching Friends in their 50s, 60s, 70s as watching Everose Raymond. And so Raymond appeals from a young audience all the way to an old audience. It doesn't appeal as much to 14-year-old girls as Friends, or there's a window where Friends is just so much more popular than Everose Raymond. So hopefully it will come back. But there you go. I hope, Lynn, that I wish I had more information. Those are all for big, high-powered, high-paid executives to determine those costs. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Trish. My Alexa answered. She know. Yes. Sorry, Karen. I was worried that I might trigger a couple. It goes with your cable provider, as I stated before. Oh, okay. Lynn, this is a very detailed thing, but I'll bring it up. So if anybody who's listening, I brought it up on the screen. It goes with your cable provider. As I stated before, Lynn, they have a contract with the show. I'm going to call Deja Vu and CMT anyways, just to see. Are you in Montreal or someplace in Canada to get these stations like me? Yes. Okay, we can chip in. Now, by the way, I'm debating, we did a watch party with Phil, with Ray, and I've just been really busy. So I'd like to do more watch parties if there's enough interest. Hi, Sandra. The rights are yours for all that tape, right? So you can show them if you had the funds. No, you cannot. So that's the big thing of the clearance is like, if you're going to do a TV special, HBO, who licensed it, says to CBS, hey, you have to pay us $1 million trillion to use the clips. And CBS says, can you bring it down to $1 million? And then HBO goes, sure. Okay, fine. But they want to, if people smell money appropriately. And so here's an example also. On YouTube, for example, when we did one of our watch parties, I had a pre-show slideshow, okay? And I played clips and stuff like that. When I did a test of playing too long of a clip, my channel got brought down. It instantly stopped. I had no say. There was no like, hey, we think you might be using copyright material. And there is for you news people, there's a certain news right. I forget what it's called, but you can play a clip from something if you're doing a news report because you're not trying to make money from it. And so you can't, just because you have it, you can't show it. And the NFL is the best example. For those of you that don't know, the National Football League, the Super Bowl, etc. The NFL is incredibly tight about their clips. So they control the licensing of their clips. There is no wiggle room. Now, you can see on YouTube bloopers and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure what it is that triggers it that gets pulled off. So there you go. That is a great little subject there. Okay. Thank you, Thomas Gerard, for the win, and maybe someone else before then. I don't know. Marie Massaging Ray, moving out. Season 3, episode 7. Marie Massaging Ray, moving out. Season 3, episode 7. That is awesome. Hi. Yes. So Sandy Phillips, hello from Southeast Kansas. Let me see. I think I have to go to Kansas City soon. Southeast Kansas. How is the barbecue in Southeast Kansas? Because it's exceptionally good in Kansas City, Missouri. Something that everybody knows from the United States, even if you haven't experienced. I'm watching you and the Masters. Don't tell me what happened. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Masters to bring up any type of confusion that might have happened. Okay, about me posting that picture. How long was the taping of the show, and was the audience fed from craft services if it ran long? Hi, Henry. No. We never had a long taping at Evers Raymond. Now long by TV measure, short by TV measure, long maybe by the human beings who are sitting in the audience for 4 hours. Craft services did not feed the audience. We would get pizza and hand out pizza to the audience. But craft services was the cast and crew, etc. And then, as I've said before, the props department, our friend Rhonda and Don, it was just Don's. I found some video of Don, brother. Don's birthday was just recently. They would get all the food that the cast ate on camera. They were considered props. They were under the props department. North Platte, Nebraska is close to Norfolk. It's 228 miles. Okay. South of you or north of you? Let's see. Hi. Wow. So many great questions. Absolutely. Here's a friendlier version. Hey, Tom, just want to let you know that North Platte, Nebraska is pretty close to Norfolk. It's only about 200 miles. Oh, yes. Okay. There we go. See, Paul, I appreciate that. I'm putting that up. Okay. Yes. And I appreciate if I don't see, sometimes I don't see a comment. Hi, Tom, Deb, Tucker, Frank from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. By the way, there's in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, there's a hot dog stand out there, isn't there? Question for you. Season 2, episode 9, Breyers ice cream Ray was eating. Why were the letters changed to obscure the word Breyers? So that's, again, I'm going to have the delightful Rhonda back again, but in general, there's something where, and Rhonda has explained this to me, sometimes they would change the brand, sometimes they wouldn't. There was never, a lot of people, just for those people watching new, ginger ale did not pay to get on Evers Raymond. Ray Romano in real life didn't drink coffee or tea. He only drank ginger ale. Okay, this is not tea. This is tea. Fans' favorite quote mugs voted on by the fans over months and months of rigorous research, very rivaling the Manhattan Project. So I'm drinking, hold on. I love having guests because I don't have to talk the entire time. So there's a couple reasons, if they don't get clearance from the company, they also don't want to give free advertising. We saw Flutie Flakes in the background. That was deliberately to bring attention to it. And then with certain brands, I think they kept it. I think Dreyer's is also a brand, a real brand. But there's all these TV prop brands that you can see that are used on camera that we know. And I think the potato chip is called Let's, L-E-T-S. Hi, Annabelle. When I attended a filming, we were given a slice of pizza and a bottle of water with a photo of the cast on it. Yes, the Evers Raymond bottled water with a photo of the cast on it. Hello, Bob. Just a parody of Sopranos character. Yes, absolutely. 100%. I forgot to put, I was applying to Henry about whether the audience was given food. Yes, Annabelle, we are all following along, and I appreciate the clarity. Yes, Michael. Hey, it's lonely over. Yes, great. I follow Madeline Sweeten on Instagram. She's about to give birth to her first child. Yes, thank you, Karen. Hi, Linda. Would you consider coming on once a week during the week, like some of your bread podcasts, and just play one of those 60-minute tapes of gold? Maybe, but that's, I think I would put that, I know this sounds not terrible, but I would have to, so here, for those of you who have been following along here, let me pull this off. I don't know where my phone is. Okay, so let me just pull this big iPad. Okay. So here we go. Oh, now we're watching a video. Interesting. Maybe that's more interesting. I don't know. Oh, and it's updating Instagram. I love that when you're going to open something and it updates. So I got to wait for that to finish updating. Um, for those of you new, I've Tom Caldabiano here, writer on Everest Raymond. I was the unofficial photographer. I took 30,000 behind the scenes photos. So many of my photos keep getting taken. I love it when people share my photos. Share them everywhere. Just share it. All you do is hit share, and then it shows where it came from. But I've had all of a sudden, a lot of my photos taken, crop out my copyright, and then post it with different words or exactly words as if whoever took it wrote it. So I started putting a copyright across the thing. If there is a danger of putting all those, watching that video real time, 60 minutes, that gets taken. Now, the significance is we are doing that special, hopefully, knock on wood. And if that happens and all of a sudden we can't say never before seen footage for this part because somebody has taken it, downloaded it, and I hate to operate from a point of fear and what do I want to say? And not trusting everybody, but because it's happened so much with my photos. So we'll figure out something, Linda. It might be, but also the footage that I shoot is very cinema verite. What is that called? Lazy camera work is another word for it. I don't shut the camera off. So a lot of times you will get seasick, but it's the wedding episode, for example, the first wedding, Ray and Deborah's wedding. I'm walking, and even for me, I'm like, well, this is pretty cool because I'm backstage. I'm shooting Raymond and Charles Durning, waiting to walk on the set, and Ray hated me filming all the time, so you see him just shaking his head like, "What are you doing?" And then I walk from there, and I walk around, and now you see the cameras and the set, etc. It's really good, but it's really specific footage that's very walking about, and you might get seasick watching them all. So, but I do appreciate the interest of everybody. All right, now let me look here. So for those of you, okay, now this is going to be let me make sure we don't have a endless feedback loop. Okay, let me go to this tape, okay, for those of you that haven't seen it, and then we're going to have some reflection. Okay, perfectly out of focus. Beautiful. Yes, focusing on everything but. Yep, perfect. Yes, there we go. Nice and unclear. Oh, you can't get that. See that? It's like an advertisement for the camera. Okay, let's just play that. And Raymond, and it's going to loop. Ray's mother, Lucy, his father, Albert, Robert Culp. Okay, let's watch that again. There we go. Perfect. That's Ray's manager walking in. You hear him saying, I got excited. And you can hear Ray's wife off camera saying, wait, wait, wait. And so there's Ray again. So that's looping. That's, by the way, that's a very short Catherine Hellman, yes, who was great. Okay, so here we go. And you'll notice on that, folks, just again, this is Inside Baseball. There's our little logo. Okay, so this video will be taken off of there and they will crop out my logo, and it's unfortunate. Okay, let's talk about this subject. Oh boy, please stay on. Here we go. The sneeze, everybody. The sneeze episode. What do we want to talk about with the sneeze? I posted the sneeze. I posted something about the sneeze. And a lot of you said, hey, sorry. What I posted was Patricia Heaton getting introduced in red pajamas. And I said, do you know what this episode was? And a lot of people guessed wrong because a lot of people did not see the first scene. Now, there are some things that don't really matter, meaning, and for those of you, I'm going to give you a little inside. Here we go. So here's a script, okay? This is a script. And the first few, let me see what it says here. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm not sharing this deliberately. See that? Okay. Thank goodness. All right, teaser. Dancing with Deborah teaser. Okay. So the beginning of a show is called the teaser. Now, sometimes it's what's known as a standalone teaser. Standalone teaser means it connects in no way to the episode other than the characters are in it. In the sneeze, what we see is Ray is leaving to go on a trip. And he goes, I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? And she's like, did you pack? And it's funny because he forgot everything basically. And he's about to walk out the door. He does walk out the door and he comes back and he says, I know what I forgot. The going away sex. And she's asleep and like, okay, just go. He's like, come on, and it's a very funny scene. When that gets cut in syndication or in reruns, when you watch the episode and then he's just getting sneezed on and you see her all seductive and coming on to him, it's a little out of the blue. It's not characteristic Deborah to be in a nightie, in a slinky nightie, and trying to seduce Ray. So if you didn't see the teaser, you would just think, well, that's a little bit out of character, and Ray is resisting her. It still works, but it's not as strong as we would say, or as motivated as thinking, oh, he really wanted to have the going away sex. She didn't. He went away. She felt bad. And she's like, okay, I will give it 110% because she has that funny line of, I'm going to get credit for shaving my legs. When you lose that, it does take something away. Now, Marie's Meatballs, another episode, and I'll go through them and I'll post those teasers. It hurts the show. The actual runtime of the show was 22 minutes in prime time. And so when Phil and Ray, would be doing the final edit, they would cut out everything that wasn't essential and make sure that everything was in there that was essential. So when you watch an episode and it's missing a part that helps set up a joke, it's really brutal to watch when you know what you've been missing. And when it informs the story. When it's a standalone teaser, and we've talked about that in the beginning of Everest Raymond, they did stunt casting where they brought in sports stars. Phil deliberately said, let's just write it so it's just a standalone and you can lift it. And that's why you don't miss Tommy Lasorda. Is it great to see Tommy Lasorda in the kitchen giving Ray notes? Yes, it's awesome. Tommy Lasorda is a famous baseball coach, everybody. And so I think we'll have to do, it's a little bit more work on my part, go through and figure out what are the episodes where they cut it in TV land. And I think it's IFC. By the way, there's so many places that Everest Raymond runs. So when I say this, I know if you guys are like, I've never heard of IFC, Independent Film Channel is what it stands for. And also there's stuff on, Apple TV, Amazon. So we went through this a little bit, but we'll have to make a chart of what cuts what for everybody because it's a crime. It's a crime against comedy. Okay, Linda, let me go back, scroll through. Hi, Donnell. Let me see. Sorry, I'm really behind. Let's see. Hi, Maureen Schmidt. The two actors who played on the reunion and investment episodes, I don't think I've ever seen them do anything else. They remind me of Lenny and Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. Have they left acting? Interesting. Is there any chance Ray and the other cast are interested in doing a rom-com? I saw that the cast of Happy Days recently did one in California. Interesting. Let me just, I love Lois. Yes. Okay. Oh, hi, Donnell. Donnell, yes. Okay, so there we go. I'm not answering all these questions. Okay, Donnell's correct. All right, so those two actors. Bob Odenkirk has gone on to tremendous success, and Brian Posehn also has been in tons and tons of stuff. So just so you know, as a point of reference, a lot of people ask me, hey, did Ray ever do anything after Everest Raymond? Ray has worked so much constantly, but there's nothing in the world like being on a sitcom that's repeated a million times. So just for example, off the top of my head, Raymond did Men of a Certain Age, Parenthood, um, Come Fly With Me, The Irishman, Vinyl, Dead to Me, and I don't know how many other projects. Paddleton, which is a great, great movie. So that's all these things that I just named. Some of you have heard of them. Most of you have never even heard of any of those things that I just listed. Bob Odenkirk went on to be a character in Breaking Bad called Saul. Saul Goodman, a lawyer, and then they built an entire series around him called Better Call Saul, which Donnell is referencing. And so I've seen Bob a lot. He just did a children's book with his daughter. So Bob will work the rest of his life. He's a character actor, and he's phenomenal. I think, was he in the movie Nebraska? Am I making it up? Just a great guy who's, if you ever look up, it's a little bit crazy, but Mr. Show, he did with David Cross, and that was unbelievable. Okay. Donnell, you always go to the top of the line. I love the sneeze episode. Anytime I have a friend who's ill after a flight, I tell them you could have anything from anywhere. Yes, a great Marie line. So Karen, yes, did one of the writers actually get sneezed on in the airport? Okay, so here's some real trivia. The person who got sneezed on, let's go back. Was that based on a real life story? I don't think that someone got sneezed on at the airport, if that's your question. One of the writers is in the airport, and he comes out, Jeremy Stevens, of the stall, comes out of the stall and sees Raymond freaking out and goes back into the stall. Jeremy also supervised later on Rose Raymond in Russia, and they redid that episode, and he came out of the stall in that episode as well. So there you go, a little trivia. If any of you are Russian who lived in Russia, that was Jeremy Stevens, who started our cookie tasting phenomena. Yes. Okay. Hi, Linda. Seems like TV Land cut out the vast majority of the teasers. When I watch on IFC, most of the time there's a teaser that was not shown on TV Land. Good to know. Okay, let's see. Hi, Gil. Gil, Men of a Certain Age, The Big Sick, folks. If you have not seen The Big Sick, I highly recommend it. That's a movie that Raymond did as well. So my point of that, thank you very much, Gil. Always can count on Gil. Yes, Mr. Show, Bob. The Big Sick is such a great movie. Sorry, I'm editing as I speak. I really, really, really recommend it. It's an awesome movie. And the point is, all of these projects, and chances are you've never even heard of The Big Sick, let alone Raymond being in it. Also, Come Fly With Me, which was a bit of a funny romantic comedy farce about the moon landing. Hi, Leslie. What year did Raymond debut? I'm not sure exactly, but it might have been September 13th, 1996, or September 16th. September 13th, I'm going to go with. That's my final answer. Ray was great in No Good Deed on Netflix. Yes, absolutely. Okay, we need to try a cookie, right, everybody? Oh, here we go. For those of you that are new to this channel, let me see. Karen, I reported some of you using your photo with that watermark. Yeah, and Karen, I'm very, very happy for people to use my photos if they just share it. It's a little annoying when they download it, crop it. Like, that takes a lot of effort. And so, yeah, I think some of my people just write under the photos saying, nice photo by Tom. Okay. Jeremy Stevens was a writer in the writer's room of Rose Raymond. He said that Hydrox cookies were better than Oreos. And Phil demanded to have a taste test. And so that started a little tradition of that one taste test of trying cookies. This, as you know, is the canister. Let's get some real sound effects here. Yep, that is it. It is a very heavy canister. We're still looking into making it, getting it made, like the fork and spoon magnet. But that's a really tough one. So it's just, let me see, looking at my computer here. It's a hard one because if you made this, if I could find this and you could get it for $30, would you buy it? Probably. I don't know how I can do that. So I'm a comedy writer. Um, so I don't specialize in manufacturing small goods. However, the fork and spoon magnet, which took us 2 years to get right, is awesome. And but it's still expensive. I mean, it's worth every penny, but it's in the $20 range, which is, so this, I don't know what this, I don't know how we could do this. This was Rhonda had this custom made. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay. By the way, I know we have some things from Italy in the hopper and stuff, and I feel bad. I'm not going to apologize for the presence of so many UK snacks. It's just that what I find about the Italians, let me tell you about the Italians, the packaged goods, my friend owns a pasticceria in upstate New York, and having been to Italy many, many times, fresh pastries are more the thing. And so the British have excelled, and this is what we're going to taste today. Odie creams. These are hobnobs. I'm going to say 90% of the Americans watching have never heard of a hobnob. Okay, there we go. Based with 100% chocolate flavored cream sandwiched between two knobbly hobnobs. Now, some clever copywriting on that label. One thing that you have to know is the hobnob itself is a dangerous, dangerous snack to eat over a keyboard. Okay, they could call them crumbly mumblies, or I don't know, something. Vacuum your pants. That would be a good name for them as well. Okay, let me catch. Wow, so many things to catch up. I apologize. Okay, yes, sorry. Let me see. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in and answering the questions I can't get to. Okay, I usually have an opening device. See, now this is ASMR. Ready here? What does oh, here we go. This looks like this knife was given to me when Ray's assistant was doing the Celebrity IOU show, and one of the crew members gave me that knife. Okay, here we go. All right, let me get. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, yeah. Might need a vacuum or a shower, depending on how this goes. Okay, so for those of you, a regular hobnob. I'm not an expert. Okay. Oh, comments about my hair. Okay, yeah. There we go. Here's a hobnob. Wow, see, that's focusing. Wow, you can tell I work with my hands too. Doing a lot of grip work. There we go. So it's 2 layers. I didn't know it had chocolate in the middle. I thought it was a vanilla type of cream. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to get a macro lens. Okay. Come on. Really wants to focus. Come on. Yes, there we go. Now you guys can see. Sorry, I know you're getting seasick. You can see how that's going to disintegrate. So I might have to pop one into my mouth complete. It's not that, it's a pretty small snack. So please, for those of you that don't have, first of all, have any of my British friends seen that? Donnell, not British, but I trust you because of the Irish connection. Crushed hobnobs make a really good cookie crust on things like cheesecakes and pies instead of graham crackers. That would be very interesting. Hi, Carol. Tom, I ordered oh yeah, Gil brought me those raspberry wagon wheels and we're on a search for them, but I did try them on camera. He reminded me. 2 weeks ago after last episode, 2 boxes for $24 on Amazon. I can't believe I paid that much, but these are Canadian cookies and they immediately went up $49 that day. Oh no. After I do oh no, tariffs. Oh no. They are good, but maybe not that good. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry to hear that. But it was delicious. Okay. Can you put a price on pleasure? Really? Okay. I'm going to hold on. How much chewing do you want to hear, people? You got to let me know. I've heard complaints about Patricia Heaton's chewing on camera, and I've never noticed it. And I spent a decent time with her. Okay, hold on. By the way, right away, hobnobs are awesome. I hate this because they're all so good. Okay, hold on. All right. No one to give me the Heimlich here. I'm going to have to taste another one. The hobnob is crumbly deliciousness. And then the chocolate, it's not that chocolatey. If you blindfolded me and said, is there chocolate in there? I don't know if I would say yes. Therefore, I must try another one. Let's see this. Here we go. The hobnob, again, for those of you at home, I'm tasting the Odie creams. The hobnob, where, for my UK friends, where does the hobnob sit in the pyramid of delicious and respected, etc.? Okay. The Odie creams. Need some hand cream. Okay. 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 Annabelle, luckily, I started late. I mean, I'm going to give this a high rank. This is as good as it, I mean, I'm going to give this a 7.4 rating. And I might regret it because it's really, really good. All right, folks, the Masters. Let's talk real quickly about the Masters. The Masters, let me see if this is updated, my photos. Yeah, I don't have my phone with me, so I'm tied to this. That's a clip of Glengarry Glen Ross. So now I go here, I do this, then I go away from that, and then I go to here. So the Masters golf tournament. Oh boy. Okay, it won't let me go here. Okay, so let me do this. Gonna go here. Okay, that guy is live. Okay. And now, sorry, folks, I'm trying to get to the photos. So let me just narrate while I'm looking. The Masters tournament happens every spring. It's the most prestigious tournament. You cannot buy your way into that golf course. Okay. So I'm locked out of everything. So, and I don't know where my phone is. If someone brought me my phone, I could do that. So the Masters happens every year. You cannot buy your way on, meaning if you're Bill Gates or something, you can't say, I'd like to play at the Masters. Can I pay money to play on that golf course? You have to be a member. It's started in, I believe, 1934. They're so powerful that one time Raymond was on a golf cart with the president of the CBS network, and Ray was using his phone, and the president of the network, who I've never seen have any fear, turned to Ray and said, put the phone away, in a very stern, almost yelling, but under his breath so he didn't attract attention. I could lose this whole broadcast, meaning they only renew their broadcast rights for a year. And so if they're not happy with how things go, they just say, we're not going to let you air us. That's how powerful they are. Oh, I found my phone. Look at that. Here we go. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Let's see. Somebody had put it in front of me, and that person looks just like me. Okay, so Ray every year would be able to go. He was invited to the Masters, and he said, come with me to the Masters. And I said, what is that? And Ray got very angry at me. He said, it's the most prestigious tournament. It's like the Green Jacket. I knew nothing about it. I don't play golf. I don't judge people who play golf. I just never enjoyed it. I tried a couple times. I'm a really, I would say, above average athlete, so it's not that I don't like sports, etc. And so here is the one of the pictures I posted. That's me with a lot of camera equipment, and we had to, you have to walk 18 holes, and so you can't go, let me go back and get my thing. And the way it happened was Ray was going there. He said, "Why don't you come along with me?" And we were staying in a house with Les Moonves, Marcus Allen, Raymond, and one other person, Craig T. Nelson, I want to say. It's a very weird because all of a sudden we're roommates. And Marcus Allen, who is an MVP of a Super Bowl, he played for the Oakland Raiders, said, amongst other teams, he said, "Boy, I wish I could get a picture of me because it's so rare to be on that course." And Ray said, "Tom is a photographer." And that's how I ended up walking all 18 holes with Raymond. There we go. That's the morning after the Masters. And this is about, I'm going to say 2004, 2000. So 2000, I think the first time we went might have been 2000 or 2002. So, and the last time was 2005. So when I posted the pictures and people are like, what is, so a couple pictures, a couple questions. Who's that guy next to Raymond? Okay, that's a good sign. That means a lot of new people to our channel. And as I said, approximately 5,000. Here is a panoramic film shot. For those, I believe that is that Amen Corner? I don't know. It's a very iconic golf course. And this is a panoramic film photo that I took of Raymond hitting into that. I don't even know. Then here we go. Kevin James, 1 year, Kevin James joined us. There's Kevin and Raymond. Kevin, a very good golfer, a very good athlete as well. And I have some very, very, very funny, very, very funny photos of Kevin in, what is it called? It's not the weeds. It's not a sand trap. It's like nothing. Here we go. There you go, folks. You ready? Here we go. I don't know what you would call that. I don't know where Kevin is hitting out of where. I mean, look at that. That is a very that was not done for comedy, folks. He is, that's where his ball went. And so here, I'll show you a couple more. This is a very famous bridge. There you go. Kevin playing there over that bridge. Let me scroll a few more. The moment the show went off the air, the moment Evers Raymond went off the air, Raymond was no longer invited to these events. Okay, there are some CBS people with Raymond looking at the leaderboard there. The leaderboard is the scorekeeping. Now, here's another point of trivia. Here you go. The person 1 year we played with this gentleman, one of them is named Rick Rosen, who started up a big talent agency. The guy on the left is Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel is the character that the Jeremy Piven character was based on in Entourage. So that, I didn't know him from Adam, but he was there one of the times when Raymond played, and he was, I would call him, let's call him intense, Ari Emanuel. He was and still is, yes, a force in the business. Again, the Jeremy Piven, there you go. There is, it's zoomed in. That's why it's a little bit, there we go. Raymond, Rick Rosen, and Ari Emanuel. If you look him up, you will see who that is. So there you go. The Masters, Raymond would go. He was invited because he could schmooze with the affiliates. The affiliates are very important to CBS. And then Raymond would get to play. 200 people would play the next day. And again, it's so prestigious that you can't, it's just, they run, there is, you wish to have that much power. There is Kevin James. There is the house behind him. One of the houses, of course, the caddies all dress the same. And I think it might still be exactly the same to this day. Okay. What did we miss, everybody? Let's go. Final looks. Back to Instagram for 1 second. See if I'm me. Scrolling, everybody. Hello, hello, yes. Hello, everybody. Tom Caltabiano here. Okay, let's go back to this portion. Hi, Donnell. What are you using to stream? You should have an ad media option that you or your producer can load your pictures and show the screen. So, Donnell, I'm using StreamYard, but what you're talking about takes forethought and production and producing. And so, yes, I could share the screen. And actually, I'm probably going to get a little dedicated computer so I can have those folders because I'm doing so many things, which as a mention, our first watch party, all the money went to our nonprofit, which has helps children educate children around the world. Our new show, Hello, Hi, How Are You? You can see it on pbs.org. If you just go to pbs.org and type in Hello, Hi, you can watch it from anywhere in the world. We're very proud of that. And all our watch parties will go, anything that we raise from that will go to that. So there is one of the things that goes on. But thank you, Donnell. Yes, 100%. I could share videos, I can produce, and I think we will get to more, production of, let me see this, pre-production stuff, because that's what you're talking about. Pre-production, where I go, I'm going to show this photo and then go to that, and et cetera. And here, just for there you go. There is our PBS show. Oh, yes. It's really random what it focuses on, but there you go. That is our PBS series. Yes. Hello, hi, how are you? 10 episodes and awesome done. Thank you, Donnell, though. Thank you, Bobby. Yes, in the rough. Kim, I think you would call that in the rough. That's really good. Okay, I'm getting too many. There we go. I have to my hairpiece doesn't come back in time usually. I remember okay, Annabelle, you're always a trusted person. I remember, hold on, sorry, drinking from the fan favorite quotes mug, you'd have to be a cook to understand, okay? I remember I remember quite a few years ago watching on TV when Ray sank a very impressive long putt at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am tournament. When I worked at a resort in Death Valley, the only thing to do outside of work was play golf. I took lessons, did pretty good hitting the ball long, but closer I got to the hole, the worse I got. You are not alone, Annabelle. Always a challenge. The short game, that's what you're referring to, putting, etc. Hi, Maureen. Yes, I sympathize with you, Tom. Golf is not my thing either. In high school, my physical education teacher told me I didn't have to participate. LOL. I'm a dangerous person with a club in my hand. Yes, that is a very funny, subtle hint to please put the club down and step away. I don't know why I don't take to golf. It's a phenomenal sport. The people that play it are obsessed. Ray Romano is obsessed with golf in a good way. What do I want to say? It's just, and you get to social, everything good about it. I just don't know why. Maybe because my personality doesn't like to slow down enough to play golf. Linda, they also make a dark chocolate version that might have a bit more chocolate flavor. By the way, it's awesome. That hobnob is awesome. Yes, it's not overwhelmingly chocolate. Now, again, you can't judge something like if you eat a regular hobnob and go, it's not as chocolatey as I hoped, but there is no chocolate in that hobnob. You can't judge it like versus a Tim Tam or a Penguin, which do not know any of that in America, the Penguin, and it is phenomenal, as we know. All right, everybody, thank you so much for visiting again this week. Okay, yes. Sorry, Gil, what stopped me? All right, I'm going to have a final. Again, love your questions, love your comments. I appreciate it, Karen. I appreciate reporting about the photo. Again, people share the photos. I love it when people share. Spread the word about this site. There's no other Herbals Raymond site that is doing live interaction and talking to the people that are involved with the show, etc. So spread the word so we can get 1 million trillion followers, and then we can be sharing videos, all of that stuff. All right. See you guys all next week. Have a good week.